Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It's D&D time again, once again here on my channel, and I'm back in the captain's chair, so hold on to your butts.
Well, it
I'm
looks
here
like
with this-
Tony's got two chairs there. He's got
Yeah.
a navigator ready to join at some point.
Yeah.
or Lieutenant Uhura.
Oh, he would be so lucky.
That would be an upgrade.
So yeah, it's been a minute since we played here on my channel, but this is the same group we've been playing with on both Big Will's channel and then more recently on JP's channel that we just finished up at the end of last year. And I kind of stuck my foot in the door and said, hey, I want to DM again, and no one dared challenge me. So we are here to play Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, a D&D adventure for 5e.
Nice.
So we were just talking before we went live about kind of how we're going to introduce the characters and introduce the campaign. I have a thing that can intro the campaign, and then we can go from there. Or if you want to talk about your characters first and any questions we might have about how things are going to happen, I am here to facilitate for you guys.
Let's get to know everybody a little bit, and then that might help us understand how we could potentially come in contact.
All right. You want to just go around the horn?
Sure.
All right. Tickles, would you like to go first?
Me first.
Well,
Actually, my first name is Anus. I just want you to know.
Oh,
but
geez.
anyway,
Yeah.
You can call me Tickles. Tickles.
Anus Mangina. What a very subtly humorous name. Just really makes you think.
So I'm an Emerald Gem Dragonborn Barbarian. I come from a noble family.
Let me be clear here before we get too far into it. You don't have to share anything you don't want to share with the group.
Okay.
So like everything you sent to me isn't necessarily what you need to share with them. You may want to leave some stuff off the table, or you may want to let them know everything. I just want to make sure that you all know that before we.
Or if you mistakenly tell something that you didn't want, you tell us that we don't know it. Like, and our characters will have to play like we aren't aware of these different things.
Well, then I'll keep it brief.
And for the first little while, many of JP's reactions are going to be to the football game, not to what we're doing here. So if you see him put his hand over his face or cheer really loudly, that may be because something happened in the Chiefs game. Just to
Something bad just happened. Idiot.
so people don't think you've lost your mind.
They can think that too.
Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So basically, I had to leave home because I needed to roam, have adventures, stuff like that. So I've been roaming again, but for a reason which is you don't need to know. I made my way north to where we are now, and so basically looking for some adventuring. I'd like to have a good time, and that's something I'm going to tell you right now.
All right. Big Will?
All right. Well, the name's Gish Tazan, or Tazan if it's Tuesday. And I'm a bard, a half-elf bard, and I'm an entertainer. So look out. And I've traveled around and done many things.
Very good.
Usually you just call them lovers. Did many things.
Yeah.
That's harsh.
Well, you know, he doesn't want to
not necessarily be people.
right.
Yeah, no, I mean,
doesn't want to assume gender or race or
right.
species.
Or living.
Oh. Yeah, there's a whole movie about a guy who did that with a pie.
Yeah.
I think it was several.
Yeah. All right. Well, if that's all you got, let's move on to Dild.
Yes, I'm going to be playing Dildo Bangin'. a rock gnome wizard, traveler, someone who loves being on the road and yet also enjoys the finer things in life, has been visiting kingdoms all across the land and been entertained at courts all around, and usually is found in places of research, libraries, and of that sort of thing, and helps with a translation, very good with words and translation, and has a ton of knowledge about pretty much a little bit about everything.
I really should have known that I opened the door to God knows what when I named my last character Gargle These Nuts.
I do agree that, and I do think I found it hilarious that you were chiding in any way.
Absolutely open that.
Hey, at least I spelt my name differently.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Hey, how many manginas do you know? I mean, this could be.
I mean, not as many as I'd like.
Always room for more.
You can never have too many.
Daymares.
Hi, I'm Doc.
That's it.
I'm short and hairy. Yeah. Where's some
You
plate?
say you want to at least share your class and race.
Okay. I'm a dwarf, not paladin, cleric.
All right.
Okay, we're being very open here.
It's following instructions better than most of us.
I guess. So
JP, last but not least.
I guess I'm Gray. I'm a Harrigan warlock, and since they won't say nothing, I'm not going to say anything. Screw them.
I can't remember what's a Harrigan again?
It's
the
a rabbit.
bunny.
A rabbit.
The rabbit people. Okay, sorry.
Rabbit person.
I'm just trying to remember races because that's how I'm going to try to picture everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone else is.
Well,
like
I can give you the physical description if you want. He's like 4 foot tall, gray fur, wears a cloak that kind of covers his ears. So, like most of the time, you can't even really tell that he's a rabbit person because it's cold and he's wearing a cloak. So,
Thank you.
Speaking of which, yes, obviously, with a name like Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden, this is a very cold-centric campaign. So in addition to all the normal stuff you start with, I think I mentioned this to you already, but just so anyone who's watching might not be confused, you all also cold winter gear, which is basically just, coats or skins or something that allow you to not immediately freeze to death.
Cool.
Big O, I appreciate your enthusiasm and confidence. Anything else you want to go over before we just dive in and see where it gets us?
I mean, if you got a map to give us a sense of the area where we're traveling, or
No maps. I don't play with
Nothing.
maps.
no.
no maps. So you get nothing. You get nothing.
Play with the map of your mind. I mean, we did it the first time that way, besides Strahd's Castle, and it went fine, I think.
No, I just wanted to, if that was important or not.
The larger area is, I mean, if it comes to no, Daymares, it's Rime, R-I-M-E.
Oh, that changes things.
You can take the man out of the barbarian, but
Yeah. It's not,
Like,
it's not
we
the
all
Rime
should
of
have
Ancient
taken
Mariner either. That's a Iron Maiden song. Rime, for those of you who don't know, because I didn't, is basically like the ice and frost on things that builds up in cold weather, I think. So in this case, that is the rhyme they're referring to, not a bard's rhyme. Cool. So I guess without further ado, let's see what kind of trouble you guys can get into. All right, Icewind Dale, Rime of the Frostmaiden. As you trudge forward, desperately hoping to see the light of any one of 10 town settlements appear in the distance, You can't decide what's worse, the stinging wet of the falling snow or the biting cold of the wind that seems to never cease. And, in fact, it doesn't. Icewind Dale has become trapped in a perpetual winter. This land has not been kissed by the warmth of the sun in over 2 years. Even in the height of summer, the sun hangs too low in the sky to crest the peaks of the mountains of the spine of the world. This land is ruled cruelly, the weight of darkness and the bitter cold serving as king and queen. Most Dale residents believe this curse is the work of the god of the god of winter's wrath, Auril the Frostmaiden. And as you look to the sky, you see it, a beautiful shimmering aurora that paints the sky, as it does every night. It is undeniably breathtaking, even if it's believed to be caused by her potent spell that keeps the sun at bay and freezes the very air. It is referred to as the everlasting Rime. But despite all of that, the Dale folk have found a way to survive these seemingly unsurvivable conditions. But the true challenge of life in Ten Towns isn't the cold or the darkness, but the isolation. The Dale once saw a steady flow of caravans from the south, but now almost none are brave enough to enter this land. Even travel between settlements within Ten Towns has become rather rare, as most Dale folks do not dare it. And this cold, this dark, this isolation, it has caused the Dale folk to become desperate to appease the Frostmaiden, driving each settlement to offer sacrifices to her, one kind or another. Yet, no respite from winter's fury seems forthcoming. So the question remains, what motivates an adventurer such as yourself to brave this cursed land? Do you simply want to test your mettle? To leave your mark on this frigid, blighted land in the spirit of the heroes who have come before? Or is it something else, something secret?
You just got a super chat from Robert Galvin.
Oh, hey, Robert Galvin, what's up? Thank you for the super chat. Just so you know, I love you big nerds. These shows watching while I play Baldur's Gate. Very entertaining. Well, thank you. That's a lot of D&D going on at the same time.
Yeah.
But
I found another crew of community members, I think, that play almost every other Friday. So I've been kind of poking my head in whenever they're playing.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
Huge thank you. Certainly not necessary, but I appreciate that you're watching us more so than the $10. But I appreciate both, certainly. So you do find one of the 10 towns. So 10 towns is a group of settlements that kind of are the main populated area of this section of the world. And perched atop a cold, lonely, wind-lashed hill sits the walled settlement of Bryn Shandar. Bright lanterns suspended over narrow streets twist in the wind, adding flecks of color to the town's otherwise drab surroundings. The friendliness in the settlement has dwindled as late. Aural's unyielding winter has greatly reduced the number of visitors to Bryn Shandar, and the local trade is suffering for it, eating away at the local sense of humor and goodwill. Still, there is no safer place in Icewind Dale to spend coin or spend the night. The walls of this town stand some 30 feet high and are defined by two concentric rings of upright wooden poles, the gap between them filled with dirt and rubble. The outer ring of poles rises above the top of the wall, providing a rampart for defenders stationed on the wood-planked walkway. The wall's hinged gates are 15 feet tall and can be barred from the inside with iron-banded wooden beams. The gates are closed when it is darker outside, which is to say more often than not. And today is just another gruesome day in 10 towns. Howling wind, bitter cold, foul tempers, and snowdrifts big enough to bury a herd of moose. But today, paranoia fills the air as the local tavern is abuzz with news about a series of recent killings. Before the murders, the only question on everyone's mind was, will summer ever return to Icewind Dale? Now the question is, will I be the killer's next victim? Nothing breeds fear and paranoia like a murderer with no face. 3 cold-blooded murders have been committed in the past month. A halfling trapper in East Haven, a human ship builder in Targos, and 3 days ago, a dwarf glassblower in Bryn Shander. Each victim was found with a dagger of ice through the heart. What is the connection? The drunken lot huddled in the tavern offer no credible ideas, but sitting apart from them is an elderly shield dwarf with a nasty scar across her nose who looks like she has something worth knowing. She's been smoking her pipe and eyeing you ever since you walked in. So I know I'm strong-arming you into this tavern, but I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time with you guys wandering around this town, not finding anything that you're supposed to find during the first session. But that is where we're at. What would you like to do?
So
you
we
remind-
all walk in.
What I was going to ask about how much gold did you feel like we should be starting with? Did you want us to roll like the traditional roll, or do you want us? How did you want us to know what we're starting with money?
In your backgrounds, typically it says how much gold you start with, doesn't it?
Okay. Yeah, like
Mine
your
has
background.
15 gold pieces, and that's it.
Okay.
I mean, if you can convince me of a reason why you should have more, I'm open to it, but
Good looks. I mean, what do you think?
Looks, hey, there you go.
I would assume that we're not all walking in together, so some may already be there, or we're staggered entrances to this establishment.
yeah, I mean, I assume you are all separately in the bar or the tavern.
Okay.
You aren't
Okay.
necessarily all together, but you are all there, unless you really don't want to be.
Oh, well, if we're all there, then I would be shocked to see Tickles.
Hey, Gish, how you doing? You want to
Hey,
hear?
sure,
like-
why not? It's good to see you, my boy. What brought you here?
Me? I'm here for a good time. It's cold outside. Cold as a witch's tat. And
It is named Ice Windale.
so I come in to have some to warm up by the fire and have a nice little grog, whatever they have here. Would you care for one?
Sure, let's find out what it's like.
Okay. So we just mosey up to the bar.
All right. A man with a portly man with a bald head and a large push broom mustache that makes him look a bit like a walrus comes over to you and says, "Well, hello there. What can I get for you?"
Two of your finest ales.
We have one type of ale. It is both our finest and least finest.
It will take 2. Thank you very much.
Very good. And he puts them down in front of you.
How much do I owe?
2 silver, please.
Okay. So I give him 2 silver.
Thank you much. Yeah, I don't remember seeing you folk here before.
Well, that might be because I've never been here before.
Well, that would make sense.
And I've just got to town also.
We don't
Seems like
see many-
this doesn't seem like a very happy town.
Well, give it a few days and you won't be so happy either.
Oh, well, sorry to hear that.
We don't get many travelers around here these parts, but you know, with my diabetes and all, I sometimes get a little. The sugar gets to me.
There it was.
Oh, forgive me, I didn't introduce myself. My name is Brimford Wilfley.
What a magnificent name.
Oh, thank you.
It's almost as if it's made up, but it's not because it's yours.
Well, I suppose you could say that about anyone's name.
So
Well, that's true.
I'm very sorry about your diabetes.
Oh, thank you. It is a terrible, terrible disease. Later, I will show you my foot. It is horrific.
I just can't wait. So, Gish, you want to go sit down? Are there any open tables or anything we can sit at?
I don't want to see the foot, but I also really want to see the foot. Take me to the table. Take me to the table.
Are we the only people in this place besides the innkeeper or the bartender?
there is
the
dwarf.
dwarf woman who is eyeing you, and a few other patrons who are
Suspicious.
not
When you say
suspicious necessarily.
eyeing
They're
you-
just like very much to themselves.
When you say eyeing you, is she like eyeing the five of us or just dildo banging?
No, she is definitely looking at all of you. Oh, things aren't going good for JP.
Okay.
No, she all of you notice her staring at you.
So we're playing this. I'm sorry. Are we playing this as we're a group yet or not?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
Sounds
yet.
like we're all just sort of in there.
Right. So Gish and I are at a table, I guess.
Yes. And
Okay,
where is this woman again?
She is kind of over in a corner.
Like just sitting at a table in a corner, standing.
She's at a table.
So she doesn't look like she's a part of the business. She's just there.
No, she is a patron. Clearly a patron. She has a drink in front of her,
And you called this a settlement, not a town or a city, right? Something very tiny by that.
well, no, this
Maybe.
is one of the bigger of the 10 towns. It is fairly sizable, but like still nothing compared to like towns we've seen in other games. It's still fairly smallish,
Okay.
but it is large enough to have, a wall around it, and it has a tavern and an armorer and a general store. So it has some of the kind of things you would typically see in a town, but
Okay.
there aren't many people living in all of the 10 towns combined because it's just too hard.
Okay.
Live on.
And the tent. Yeah. Okay. I get it. I think I get it.
But yeah, that'd be 10 places to live at once. That'd be pretty. Never mind.
So
I'll go say. I'll just sort of nod at the lady dwarf, my fellow dwarf.
She smiles, kind of a crooked smile back, and tips her pipe at you.
Tinkles, my boy. Did you notice that woman over there? She's staring a hole in my face. Did you notice that?
Well, yes, I did. Do you want
Is anybody sitting near the fire? I'm assuming people are clustered near it.
Yeah, I mean that it's not an especially large tavern,
Okay.
so everyone is relatively close to the fire just for this because of the
Yeah.
fact that it's only has a couple.
And you
tables.
said that. Sorry, I guess I'll do the character. I'm assuming if she's a dwarf behind a bar, that the bar is kind of low enough for me. I don't have to like.
She's
as a
not behind a
gnome.
bar. She is at a table.
Oh, she's at. No, I'm at the. Okay, the bartender.
The bartender
not,
is a human.
Oh, is a human. Okay, so it is tall then for me.
It would be tall for you. Yes, you'd have to like hoist yourself up on a stool.
All right. Yeah, then I'll sort of climb up as best I can.
Whoa! I didn't see you there.
Right. How you doing, sir? I'm looking for something to warm these cold bones. Do you have anything like mulled wine or something like that?
I did not catch a word of that, son.
I'm freezing myself to bits here. Do you have
Oh,
anything
yes, well,
warm to
that-
drink?
That is an unfortunate side effect of this land. It is quite cold all of the time, but I'm sure I can fix you up something toasty that'll warm your insides and at least give you some false assurances that you will not freeze to death.
Well, I'd be much glad of it.
All right, and he pours you a mug of something that you
All
can't
right.
quite identify.
Well, Does he? And what'll that cost me?
1 silver piece, please.
Thank you kindly. And then I'll take it over to whatever table's probably closest to the fireplace if there's nobody like at
Yeah.
it. Or if those guys are laughing up the storm, I might ask to join.
There you go.
That would be
We are.
much more convenient for the sake
Let's
of
do that.
moving the story forward.
Is there room at your table? It's quite near the fire. I'd like it.
Well,
Awesome.
yes. You can sit
then
here.
I'm gonna like reach up and put my mug on the table and then like climb the chair in.
No,
Oh,
let me
how
help you up.
lovely.
I get up and I help you onto your
What?
seat.
And,
That's
and
mighty-
Gish is just going,
That's mighty gallant of you. I appreciate it.
Hey, anytime.
I don't know you, but my name is Gish. This is Tickles Mangina. And what's your name?
I'm Dild. First time being in this area. Have you been here before? It's mighty cold.
Oh.
No, I haven't.
Our first time too.
Yes.
Oh, well, cheers and toast to all three of us then.
Yes. Have you noticed that woman keeps staring at us? Has she been staring at you too? I notice her eyes keep darting between people.
Well, if you really take a look, we're quite an odd bunch, aren't we?
Well, yes, but then again, where isn't an odd place in this land?
That's fair enough. Do you think she's lonely? Do you think we should invite her over?
I
Ah,
think that would be a great idea. Oh, yoo-hoo! Ma'am, why don't
Spill
you
my drink a
join
little.
us?
She clearly hears and sees you, but gestures in return for you to come to her because she is an older woman and clearly maybe isn't quite as mobile as a bunch of you young bucks.
All right, boys, let's go do something that may not be good for us. Come on.
so I go over there and I pick up Dildo and I put him back on the
His
floor.
name's not Dildo, it's Dild.
Dild.
What's the matter? I told you my name was Dild. What's the problem with you?
Well, I pick up Dill.
How many of those have you had?
Oh, not enough, my
Can
friend.
you not
not
hold your
enough.
drink?
Sure, I hold it in his hand. And I hold it in my hand.
Well, that's his drink. Why don't you put his down and drink your own?
Ah, there you go.
So three of you are going over to her. What are the other two guys doing?
I'm not
If I
getting up
see
after
them
my
over
seat.
there,
If she
I'll-
didn't come over when I called, I was just going to stay here.
If I see them go over there, I'll go over there and make sure she's okay, if nothing else. Just ask if I'll walk over there whenever they do and ask if she's all right, if they're bothering her.
Okay, so Tickles, Gish, and Doc are approaching her. Dild is staying put, and Gray is
I don't
frustrated.
know if
with
he's even
himself.
arrived yet. Is he here yet?
No, Gray is there.
He's out
he
in the
was kinda-
cold, just pondering life's mysteries while
well,
thinking
he was
about
kind of waiting for the
his-
group to
his
gather. He didn't know they were just going to refuse to cooperate with your storytelling. I was trying to wait for the group based on where I'm coming from, but that's okay.
I mean, you should know, having just DM'd, that you guys
I
are not
know.
going to make this easy on me in any way.
No, John's going to refuse to follow all the plot hooks. Yes, I know. That's
I
what he does.
invited her over and she had none of it.
So when I see that the lady's been staring at me, and you guys see a smaller figure that's been sitting at the bar, and it appears to have a raven on his shoulder, and he's appears to be conversing with the raven back and forth, and when he sees the group start to gather over by the lady, he kind of wanders that way, and he kind of walks up and he pulls his hood back, and you see that he's a Harrigan, a rabbit folk, and with all gray fur, and he's like, "So, are these the fellas flaps? These are the ones that I should be talking to? What do you think? These are the people? Hey, I'm Gray. What's going on?"
Oh, nice to meet you. I'm Gish. I don't know who this man is. That's Tickles. How are you? You're magnificent.
Oh,
I'm Doc.
well, I appreciate that. Are you sure? Are you sure? Hi, and what's your name, sir? And he turns to the dwarf.
My name's Doc of the Clan
Nice to meet you,
McStuffin.
Doc. What's up?
McStuffins.
He better be Scottish. I'm just gonna say.
Did you just say what's up, Doc? By the way.
I said, nice to meet you, Doc. What's up?
Okay.
It would have happened at some point. So
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to happen a lot. As soon as I realized you had a character named Doc.
We didn't even plan this.
I just saw his name and I was like, oh, yeah, that's happening constantly.
So go ahead.
And ma'am, what's your name? What's your name, ma'am?
She reaches out a arthritic hand and says, "Oh, hello. My name is Hirlin. I'm a once mighty warrior who is maybe not what I once was, but I may have a job for you."
Oh, well, I think you might be right, Flax. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you, madam.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. Well, assuming that you decide to take my job.
Well, is it just for Gray or for the group? And does it involve dirt?
Involve what?
Dirt.
Dirt? Well, we don't have very much dirt around here. Mostly ice and snow. But yes, for the group, I don't believe. I mean, I don't know you all yet, but I don't believe that any one of you would be able to complete this on your own.
Well, I don't know you or anyone else really other than Tickles, but isn't that what makes life grand?
Well, I suppose it depends on who you're meeting.
Seeing as that it's all going well, I try to go and join them. I made an athletic or a roll to see if I could climb down on my own, and I got a 7. So I spilled a lot of my drink.
Yeah. you spilled your drink on the way down, but you didn't get hurt or anything.
No. But it was definitely obvious.
Yeah.
As you make your way over, I whisper to Tickles, "He's going to be my new friend."
So you're all there?
That was quite a grunt.
Sorry about that.
You both, or you all, I should say, notice when you get close to her that she is armed. She has a
I hope so.
yeah, she has no arms, just 2 legs. No. She is
just held
armed.
out her little arthritic hand.
She has a large battle axe, well, large compared to her size, and a hand axe on her waist. But once you all gathered, she says to you all, "Out of boredom, I suppose, and some sense of moral decency, I've taken it upon myself to investigate the recent murders, since no one else, not even the Council of Speakers, can be bothered." She spits on the floor, not taking her eyes off of you, studying your reactions to everything. "I've found my suspect. I've never been wrong before, and I don't intend to start now. The murderer is a man named Sefik Caltro. Now, Mr. Caltro works for a small traveling merchant company called Torgs, owned and operated by a shady dwarf named Torga Icevein. Oh, he's never in one place for very long. Not the easiest man to track. He is charming, makes friends easily, and he's also Torga's bodyguard, so I'm guessing he's good with a blade. Now, his victims have come from the only 3 towns that practice the barbaric act of sacrificing people to the Frostmaiden on nights of the new moon. I suppose this is what passes for civilized behavior in Icewind Dale. They hold lotteries to make it fair. Ha! Nothing fair about it. Being stripped naked and tied into a pole and left to die, if you ask me. Like I said, I know I have the right man, but I can't quite figure out the motive. Best I can guess is the victim managed to keep their names out of the drawings, and Sefik found out they were cheating, so he killed them. Maybe, just maybe, Sefik is doing the Frostmaiden's work. Now then, I followed Torgs for a 10-day as it moved from town to town. Quite the devious little enterprise, but that's none of my concern. What struck me is how comfortable Sefek Cultro looked in this weather. No coat, no scarf, no gloves. It was like the cold couldn't touch him. Kiss of the Frostmaiden indeed. Now, you all seem capable of taking care of yourselves out here, which I can't say about most folks, myself included, as hard as that is to say. Hard to admit when you've gotten too old and frail to charge into battle. But enough of the woe is me talk. If you want the job, it's yours. I will pay 100 gold pieces to apprehend Sefek Cultro, ascertain his guilt, and deal with him, preferably without involving the authorities. When the job is done, return to me and collect your money.
I like it.
Can I,
Oh, sure. Always ready for an adventure.
can I do an insight check?
Sure, what are you trying to gather?
I'm trying to see if anything is a bit more involved than what she's saying. It sounds pretty cut and dry, easy.
Okay.
And I get to do this with a real die for once.
Real die.
Did she say the race of Sefik?
He's humanoid.
Oh, okay.
19.
19. She is not telling you anything that she is not being truthful about. If you want to get more specific about what you're trying to figure out, I can, with a 19, I might be able to give you a little more information.
Well, all I'm wanting to know is it as easy as ABC as she just laid out, or are there big holes in there that we're going to find out about that she's just not telling us about because we might say no?
You don't get the sense that she is leaving anything out. You seem to think that she does want this job done. Her motivations might not be as easy as
Okay.
altruistic as she makes it out to be, that she's just bored and wants to investigate these things. But
Okay.
she's not like holding back any vital information that you're going to need that she knows. As far as it being cut and dry, like clearly the hardest part about this is going to be finding him, and taking her at her word that this is the person doing the murders.
Yeah. How many murders are you talking about here?
There have been 3. I think I mentioned that before.
You
but-
said 3.
Oh, I didn't hear the number. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I'll
3,
go back.
all done with the ice knife, or ice sickle, or
A halfling trapper in East Haven, a human shipbuilder in Targos, and 3 days ago, a dwarf glassblower in Bryn Shander. Each victim was found with a dagger of ice.
Oh, so they're not even in the same town. Okay.
No, they're in the 3 towns of 10 towns that are the ones who practice human sacrifice.
Okay.
So the towns
One
of
in each
10
of them.
towns, like I know I kind of dumped a lot of information at you.
I was
so
trying to keep up, but I don't write that fast.
Yeah. All of the towns do some sort of sacrifice to the Frostmaiden.
Right.
Either like sometimes it's like crop, sometimes it's
Right.
Animal,
Animal.
whatever.
Right.
But these 3 towns hold lotteries for the inhabitants, and kind of like a Hunger Games situation where if your name is drawn on the night of a new moon,
I was gonna ask her. Look, are you saying that even being here, that my name's now in a lottery that I wasn't aware of?
Well, I certainly would hope not. I believe it is only for residents.
Ah, well,
But
sounds like a hard luck life though. There.
yeah, well, I've got some sour news for you, Jack. It is, you'll find it rather difficult to leave this land now that you are here. Oh,
Really?
I think you're frozen already.
He's frozen completely solid.
Yeah.
You're not talking of timeshares, are you?
Usually takes people a couple days to freeze that much. And he's gone.
Yeah, okay.
Anyone else have any follow-ups for her while we're waiting for Dill to get? Oh, there he is.
Well,
you hear
this
me?
sounds all
Yeah, he saw
I
how
could
he
hear you guys
pushed him
the
over
whole
by
time.
the fire. It didn't take
Amen.
long.
Yeah.
So right. So where do we start? I mean, we're gonna start someplace.
Well, yes, I lost track of Torgs a few days back, but I'm sure if you ask around, someone must know where they are headed. Information has a way of finding its way around 10 towns.
And you said that it was. I know there was a lot coming out. They're part of a business or something. They're part of a company or something like that.
Yes. What she said was,
I heard there was a Tolga Ice Vein who is like Sefik is her bodyguard, and she runs this company. It's called Torgs.
yeah, a traveling merchant company.
Merchant company.
So Torgs travels around 10 towns, dealing in different goods.
So we gotta find this.
Is there anybody? Is there anybody here in town that does business with him that might know his schedule and when he might be back or what town he might be in?
Well, unfortunately, everyone is more or less forced to do some sort of business with Torgs. She is very greedy with her prices, but there's not much we could do about that up here. We have to take what we can get at times.
So if somebody wants right now, if somebody wants to deal with her, is there someone in the town who would know where she is now?
She wouldn't know that, or she would have found that out already.
Okay.
But if you would like to try to, I mean, I'm not going to make you talk to 100 people trying to figure out where they're going. If you want to make like if you want to do like an investigation check, if you want to role play it, that's fine. It's whatever you guys want to do. But if you
I
want
can
to
do an investigate. I'm very good at investigating.
all right. So if you want to kind of,
I will assist, or well, I guess not really.
if you want to kind of montage you guys trying to find out where they're going.
I got
However
a
you want to
dirty,
do it, man.
dirty 20 on investigation.
Oh yeah. So it takes you about an hour or so talking to different people in the tavern and the few people who might be on the streets. It is strange to see. You can't really tell what time of day it is anymore because it's almost always dark here. But because of the cold, not many people kind of are just out and about like you would see in a town, even like a smaller size town of this size. But you do find someone who claims to know where they are, and they are willing to tell you for 5 gold pieces or non-perishable food of equal value. I mean, that is the offer they give you, at least, and you can.
I'll bring it back to the group. It's a gold piece a piece of if we all want to sort of chip in here.
So with me.
It's fine.
I like it.
How you feel about that, Doc?
Why don't you see if you can't talk her down to 4 and you guys pay?
Well, I don't sort of think that's the best decision you've ever
Get
made.
in or get out.
Okay, I'll pay.
All right.
All right. So you hand over the 5 gold pieces to this bundled character, and he says, "Well, it's your lucky day, I suppose. I was on my way from Dugan's Hall the other day, coming back this way to home here at Bryn Shanda, and damnedest thing, I saw them, the 3 dog sleds heading straight for Dugan's Hole at full clip through the snow. I believe that must have been Torgs."
You said Dugan's Hole, was it?
Yeah, Dugan's Hole.
Okay.
What's that?
It is a terrible place. If you think Bryn Shanda's unfriendly, well, wait till you get your fist inside that hole.
I take
Have
it
they
that's a
done it?
town then, and not like, you know.
Yes, it is. It is one of the 10 towns. It's about a 4 or 5 hour hike from here.
Right.
Oh, only a 4 or 5 hour hike. Okay.
And what's the fella's name again? Dubin's? What?
Dugan, Dougan.
All right. Sounds splendid.
So as they're talking to this guy, I turn to the Raven again and it's like, what do you think of all this, Flaps? Are you sure this is the right group? I'm not sure about these folks. He seems to just be having a conversation with the Raven.
Yeah, I was going to say,
without getting
you
any
are
response.
within earshot of the rest of the group, correct?
Oh, no, I know. But the Raven's just kind of, well, I guess
I-
that's
I'm
up to you.
saying that for the benefit of the rest of the group who clearly are not reacting to this.
Yeah. No,
odd
he's
name.
he's not trying to hide it.
Right.
You know, I don't know if you understand the Raven or if you're a madman talking, but I love it. Do it again.
The Raven isn't supposed to be speaking back to you audibly, correct?
That's up to you.
I mean, I can play the Raven if you want, but I didn't know if it was like a.
Well, that was. I thought
a,
we. I guess
we-
maybe we didn't ever decide. I thought we
we
decided.
talked
how
about it.
you
I
would
didn't
do
know if it was supposed to be like a psychic link.
it. However you want to play it works for me. So
Okay.
So-
I'll play the Raven. So you asked if it was the right group?
well, like you don't have to. Like most of the time, like I talk to the Raven all the time, and the Raven responds when it feels like it. So
Okay.
it doesn't
All
have
right.
to like.
So if it
So
is,
you don't have to play it all the time. Like
pertinent.
I'm letting you off the hook from like you don't have to respond every time I talk to the Raven, and I don't
Mhm.
expect you to respond every time I talk to the Raven.
fair enough.
And so you can just
Uh,
make a like
but-
just kind of look at him and be like,
Yeah, I was gonna say, kind of gives like a with its
So,
wings. Any other thing else you want to ask this character, or do you want to hit the road, Jack?
No, I mean, I think
Or-
that's what we needed. I mean, about how many people were in this group?
Well, it's hard to ascertain with the the speed at which they were traveling and the amount of coverage they have to fight the cold, but it appeared to be a small band, maybe 3 or 4. At least one driving each bobsled, and perhaps a couple more.
Right. Well, I appreciate your help.
Oh, I appreciate the business. And he pockets the gold and disappears into the darkness.
That wasn't ominous at all.
So, not knowing anything about this place, if we get a bobsled, do we need to do anything special with it?
I think that he said it was just a few hours walk.
Yeah, so you can walk, or there are options for travel if you want to kind of look into that, but it will cost you money.
I would like to minor illusion a bobsled as we're walking forward just
Well-
to see what Tickles does.
It's wonderful to look at, but you can't really use the illusion, can you?
Well, you don't know it's an illusion unless you go up to it.
I mean, I can.
well, we saw you
Try
do
to-
it. You were standing right there.
I know.
No,
Plus, I'm a wizard.
still
I'm a
narrating
wizard.
for you.
I mean,
As we walk along, I have it kind of pop up just to mess with Tickles.
Oh,
oh.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm
if I
gonna
would-
roll perception.
I'm not that stupid. I don't know.
Yeah, we saw it appear from nowhere. Like,
I got a 16 on my perception.
Whoa.
Lost
yeah, he
gamers.
just messaged me. He said his internet blipped out, so hopefully he'll be back.
I don't know what that's like.
I know, huh?
A 16 perception for what?
To determine if I can see through his minor illusion. As a
Oh,
wizard, we
Yeah,
also can
he
cast minor illusion.
cast it in front of us.
Yeah.
Like, we saw it come from nowhere.
right. Regardless of if you can see through it, your 16 perception, you see him cast the spell.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not going to say
well,
anything. I'm just
Well,
going
plus,
to,
not to mention the fact that it literally appeared out of nowhere. So even if you didn't see him cast it, you know that it popped into existence and can probably ascertain that it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not hiding it except from Tickles, just to see if he does anything.
Look, it's a sled.
I'm just give the side eye to the Raven again, like, all right, these are the ones that can help me.
All right.
But
As a
we
chief-
walk along, Gish is skipping.
As a chief, shouldn't you be watching out for the Ravens?
Next week, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna start giving.
Look at me! I made a football joke.
You did make a football joke. I like it. Surprised you knew. But yeah, now I'm gonna have to like.
No good
That's the hard
comics,
time.
and you are going head to head now.
Oh yeah.
He was at the Ravens game.
He was.
Yep.
I don't know if he'll try to go again
Nigel.
next week or not.
It looked gold, man. Holy cow! Sorry, didn't mean to derail this up.
That's fine. We're waiting.
We're waiting on
We're just
a little
walking.
bit on
Yeah.
Daymers, but
Um,
I mean,
as we're walking.
Yeah, I'm fine
the
walking if that's what
countryside
y'all
here.
feel like. That's.
I will let
I
you
don't
know.
want to waste any money.
This isn't me telling you something your characters wouldn't know because of your travel here. Is that there are often blizzards and other things that make travel less straightforward a lot of times than it would be in other realms.
Mm.
Obviously, things that help with that can be helpful, but not necessary. Like you can make it to any of the 10 towns by walking and not freeze to them.
Right.
Will you?
Okay.
That remains to be seen.
I mean, if you're
That's fair.
at first level, you're gonna try to put us in a blizzard, then we just die. We start again.
No.
But as we're walking, I assume we're all just hiking to this town that we're going to. What is the landscape like at this point? Is all the vegetation basically dead at this point? What are we looking at? Is this barren waste? What are we looking at?
It is like the Arctic. It is like there are some, trees, like some evergreen style trees, but even those are covered in ice. Like it is, there's no grass. It is covered in snow and ice everywhere you can see.
It's northern Alaska.
Yeah, it is. It is Greenland.
But there are you can't just see. It's just not ice to the horizon. There are stuff that kind of breaks up there's trees and other things potentially around us.
Is Adam in the back?
I mean, there's some mountainous areas and stuff. So as far as you can see between the darkness and the snow and the uneven landscape, as far as you can see, it is nothing but ice and snow.
Okay.
So I guess Adam can play while he's in the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say if he just wants to. I'm here on my phone. Okay.
Well, hopefully, did he not? He couldn't just restart. It was something else.
I don't know if it totally went out or not. Just as an aside, because I know you guys, I did I did have a stat block for Hlyn in case he decided to just attack her.
Okay.
I wasn't planning to attack a little old lady.
Well, hey, listen, I'm trying to be as prepared as I can be for you, Jamokes.
Well, I won't speak for the other characters, but that's not necessarily that. I mean, it is. We'll see.
So we're all still just walking towards this, wherever it was.
Dugan's
Yes.
Hole.
Dugan's Hole. So as we're
Dugan's
traveling to Dugan's Hole, I just kind of stay near the back of the group and just kind of follow along.
Okay, so here's the first bit of fun that we have. I need you as a group to nominate a navigator in case there is some winter weather. So I would suggest whoever has the best survival.
I have B on survival.
You cut out there. I didn't hear that.
I have +3 on survival. I am
No.
proficient in survival or whatever.
I'm only +2, so maybe you.
JB's like, I was gonna walk in the back, but
Okay, well, I guess I'm walking at the front then. That's fine.
I don't know
I
what
mean, I'm
Dave Mares
actually,
has.
yeah, given
Well, I
my
mean,
background, that makes sense.
You're
That makes
you're
sense.
going to be walking close enough together that you can navigate from the back. Like you can say, "Hey,
Yeah.
go." You know, I'm not going to make you lead.
Well, no,
but
I'm fine walking in the
I
front.
am
That's
going to
fine.
make you roll occasionally to find
Okay,
your way.
I'm walking in the front.
Okay.
Since we're leading the way.
I am going to give you a bit of leeway here and say that you don't encounter anything too blizzardy on your way there that we're going to ruin the whole campaign by you guys getting lost to your first town. But
I mean, you want me to? I can try to roll. I don't care. That's part of it.
No Donner Party storyline here.
You are all miserably cold, and I'm going to tell you cranky because unless any of you have any sort of secret kind of love for the cold, it is, no matter how much you say like, oh, I love the winter, this is biting to a level that you would not be happy walking in it for 4 hours.
Sure. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Well, my character is used to it, but he doesn't like it. So he
Fair
doesn't.
Sounds like me in Massachusetts.
Yeah. Like he's dealt with it his whole life, but he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't like it.
All right, so in that
You hear
case,
him mumbling along the way occasionally. Someday a beach. Someday a beach.
one drink out of a coconut. That's all I want. I mean, you did come here voluntarily. You could have gone south, but
Did we,
we'll find
did we
out
have
why
that
later.
option?
I didn't really. I'm not really voluntarily on this one. I mean, I made a choice, but now it's not really voluntary.
Okay, so Dugan's Hole is the smallest and most insular of the 10 towns. Its residents aren't fond of visitors, and inbreeding has caused the population to dwindle in recent years. It also has given rise to an often seen physical deformities, including small misshapen ears and slightly pointed teeth. Dugan's Hole is not much more than a cluster of dwellings perched on the edge of red waters, so small that it clearly can't be possibly support any industry.
Red waters?
It's the name of a lake.
Okay.
Ice has buckled the shorter of its two piers, rendering the dock visibly unsafe. The longer pier has two ice-bound keelboats tethered to it, neither with any hope of breaking from their icy prison. There's Daymers.
Yay, he's back.
Hey,
Just had to restart my router and stuff.
As you look out on the frozen lake, dark humanoid shapes can be seen dotting the ice.
So wait, the town is on the lake, or is it like beside the lake and there's just people out on the lake, on the ice?
Well, you can't really see. The town is not on the lake. The town is on the shore of the lake.
Okay.
But there are, when you look out into the dimness of the day, you can see out on the water or on the ice of the lake, there seems to be what appears to be humanoid shapes.
Okay.
walking on the ice?
No, they're pretty still.
Oh,
Okay. So
standing there.
is there, as we approach the town, is there any buildings, settlements, bars, inns, anything?
It is remarkably small. Like there's really not much here. There's some houses and you know, maybe you could find some place to get a drink, but you do notice pretty immediately that there is clearly a point of focus in Dugan's Hole, as the few residents who are milling about the streets have congregated around 3 dog sleds flying a banner featuring a gold wolf's paw on a black field.
Okay.
Much of what the dog sleds have been carrying is now on display under a canopy in various crates and barrels. Goods for sale, including cut wood, flint and tinder, flasks of whale oil, blankets, furs, rations, bottles of wine, and casks of ale, medicines, and poisons for vermin, of course.
You said they had potions?
I said poisons.
Oh, poisons.
And you see a small, just completely horrible looking old dwarf woman, and she's calling out to the small gathering. Her voice is somehow even more gruff than her appearance. She's flanked by 4 armed and heavily cloaked humans and another man who stands out for obvious reasons. Wearing matching pants and boots, which appear to be that of the mariners of the southern coast, and nothing more than a stylish vest over his olive skin, his dark hair pulled back into a tight ponytail and piercing blue eyes the color of a frozen lake. Despite his light attire, he seems unbothered by the biting cold.
I don't like that guy.
So as we're like, how far are we from, like, how far away can we see all this before we, how close do we have to be before we can see all
What's your dark vision?
I don't know that I have dark vision. That's a good question. Does it say anything about dark vision?
Well,
I got 60 feet.
okay. So Gish can see it from at least 60 feet. I mean, it is dim. It's not like nighttime right now, but it never gets much more than like, pre-dawn here. So it's, if you don't have any dark vision, you're going to have a hard time seeing anything.
So, well, that would have been good to know. Well, so,
I mean, if I'll say you have at least all 30 feet of dark vision.
yeah, okay.
I'm not going to make any of you blind for this campaign. So, I mean, you would, at the best case, I mean, they probably have some torches lit and stuff, so you can see it from a bit further out than what your dark vision is, but, maybe 100 feet.
Okay. I just didn't know if we were going to be like right there with, and how many people are like in this congregation around the.
Yep. I mean, between 6 to 10, not a huge crowd, but it clearly is like an event for them, more or less, because clearly nothing much happens in this town. So anything that is happening is kind of
It's something. Got it.
Is a draw for attention.
So as we get close enough to, as we approach this group, I'm going to lean over to Dild and be like, so that appears to be our guy. It appears to be our guy. But how do we want to play this?
I don't know. He seems like he's got a lot of friends with him, doesn't he?
He does.
So should we just walk over there and see about, like everyone else, and see what's going on?
Well, that big one's probably either the important one or guarding the important one.
Well, he gave us the description, right? We know who these people, these 2 of them are. Like, we know the dwarf lady is Targle.
The dwarf lady. There are 4 armed, heavily cloaked humans, and then this other guy who just has
Sephic, or
who you assume is Sephic. Yeah.
Yeah, based on the descriptions he gave, that he's like not affected by the cold. So yeah, we can see our target at least. The question is, how do we separate him from the group?
Personally, I don't feel really right fighting all 11 of them, and I kind of feel like we might want to be more patient.
Let's see what they have for sale.
I agree.
Let's go see what they have.
Okay. You approach, and the old dwarf who you assume is Torga says, "Welcome, travelers. May I interest you in some of our fine goods?"
Do you have any in saffron?
We deal in necessities for this land.
Well, that's good too. What you have?
They have what did I say? Where was it?
Well, what would she push?
She wouldn't necessarily push anything. She is not much of a salesperson. She is like
Just points and says what it is in the price.
yeah, she is a trades woman of opportunity. So she knows that the people of this land need these items. So she doesn't need to like come into town and be like, "Oh, look at this great thing I have that you're gonna want." It's like, no, you
need
need
all this
wood to survive. So I have this. What?
Gotcha.
Does she have any ball bearings?
No ball.
No, not again. So you said she had
Cut wood, flint and tinder, flask of whale oil, blankets, furs, rations, bottles of wine, and casks of ale, medicines, and poisons.
What do you mean by medicines? Like potion, like magical stuff, or just like
like
healing kit, or
balms and and healing, like sciencey healing stuff. As far as that goes in this land, like some balms and oils and stuff that claims to have medicinal properties.
so like what is it? So would this be like the little packs that you can use to like take somebody from 0 to 1, or is this something else, or is this just like generic stuff?
Is this aspirin?
I mean, it's not aspirin, that doesn't exist, but it is aspirin like it
adjacent.
Yeah, it's stuff that is like, heals your bum knee. And
okay, so this isn't like I can't even think of the name of
healing kits. No, this is
no, it's not a healing kit. Okay, that's what I was.
What are our ranges here? Like the cheapest thing to the most expensive thing. What are the range of the price?
Everything you see like coming from outside of this land, you are appalled at the prices. It's 4 to 5 times anything you would expect it to be.
So if it's normally like a silver, they're charging 3 gold.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is a supply and demand economy, and she has the supply and the demand is very high. So she can basically charge what she wants.
So how much is the cask of ale?
1 second.
Some things
I
never
didn't
change.
come up with prices because I didn't.
I'm a bloody barbarian. What else?
No, you're playing Tony.
Yeah, so far you're playing Tony. Yes.
But that's why I wanted to play barbarian, because they align. Follow your instincts.
Everybody's freezing tonight.
Oh, did I freeze?
Right, so did we see like other townspeople buying stuff? Is it things moving quickly? Is it
the cask
is
of
this
ale?
ramping up? What do we got going on in front of us?
The cask of ale is 9 gold pieces.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. What was the question?
Like, are people buying stuff? Is this like, is things moving? Or are people just standing around? How's like the interactions going here?
People are buying things begrudgingly.
Got you.
Like they're not happy about the price. Like there's a lot of attempted bartering, and she is very much standing her ground and saying, like a shitty comic book owner saying, "Nope, these are the prices. You pay them or leave."
I just checked these prices on eBay. This is what it is.
But if any of you would like to make a perception check to see
I want to make a perception check of like the guards and first of Stefik. Is that it?
Sephek.
Sepek. I'll make a perception check just of him and how he's standing and like
Sure.
observing us and stuff. That is a natural 20.
Cool.
So plus 3, so it's like 23.
He, like I said before, he seems very comfortable. He's not like being Mr. Tough Guy with a short sleeve shirt out in the cold. He seems like he's in a perfect 72-degree day, just as comfortable as can be. And with a roll that good, he does not appear to be armed.
Okay.
But he is clearly very aware of everything that's happening in this group. Like he's not hanging back with his feet up, not paying attention. He's got his head on a swivel.
Can I see if I perceive as I watch the people if he misses any theft?
Sure.
Natural 20 for me too. Plus 4.
You get the sense that everyone here knows better than to steal from them. Like this is not like people know who Torgs is. So it is something that comes through often, and anyone who has stolen from them in the past has been dealt with swiftly and harshly. So you can sense that there is this apprehension of even picking something up and looking at it because of they're kind of afraid that of the insinuation that something might be going on.
Okay.
If you want, I can roll again if you want. But what's my perception of like, in terms of how the townspeople here like think about this Torg and her people? Like, what am I getting from them other than like, do they appreciate even though they overcharge them? Are they angry toward them?
You already rolled so well that I won't make you roll again. You get the sense that they understand that it's a necessary evil, that no one else has the resources to, or the wherewithal, or the whatever the case may be, whatever that is needed to travel around 10 towns as frequently as they do and supply goods.
So they may not like them, but they know they need them.
Right. So that's why they are willing to pay the exorbitant prices, because it is, the only shop in town, for the lack of a better term. Like,
yes.
if you're not buying
from
Torg,
and, like, attack their supply, they're not going to appreciate us because they're not going to be able to get this stuff from other people.
Right.
Okay.
So which one did we need to talk to again? It's the woman, right?
The Torg is the female dwarf who's kind of the leader of this gang, but the person you're here looking for is Sefek, who's the man in the.
Okay. So does how long does it look like it's going to end soon, or like can we just wait an hour, or is it look
yeah?
Like
I mean, the population of this town cannot be very much, so I'm sure you can ascertain that after a short while, anyone who might stop by is going to have stopped by and will, they'll probably shut down and,
so we can talk to him after they shut down then. So we'll just have to wait.
I mean, if that's the way you want to go about it.
Well, it seems like the only other way would be very violent.
Tony, you're muted.
Yeah. So, to go back to what we're supposed to do, are we supposed to gather evidence that this is the person who's doing this, or are we supposed to?
What Lynn said to you was, I will pay you 100 gold pieces to apprehend him, ascertain his guilt, and deal with him, preferably without involving the authorities. So she doesn't want you to like bring him in. She wants you to make sure that she is right, that he is the one committing the murders, and then dispatching him for her.
Okay. So we need to ambush this guy, tie into a chair. Do the old. What was that? What was that movie that when he cut off his ear?
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, they do that. We have to do that deal on and get some truth out of him. That's what we got to do. Okay, so we'll wait.
Stuck in the middle with you.
While this is still going on, is there anything else you want to ask about or look for or anything? Or are you just going to step back and kind of...
I'll just sort of look at him and say, "You don't seem like you're cold."
He looks back at you with his piercing blue eyes and says, "Yes, well, I have the benefit of having been born on midwinter. I have the blessings of the Frostmaiden who protects me because of it. It is as warm as a summer's day as far as I'm concerned."
Lucky him.
Did you freeze again?
Did I?
Oh no, sorry, I was just thinking.
I guess we're just waiting now.
If you'd like to make an insight check on that.
Yeah. That sounds like something. 14.
You can't tell if he's lying, but it doesn't seem like the whole truth, at least.
Okay.
All right, so what are we doing?
So I'm going to kind of
We're waiting.
and
The hard part is
going on.
the hard part is ascertaining the guilt. Like I don't know how we're going to ascertain the guilt.
Yeah, and getting him alone to ascertain the guilt. Because he's sure not going to do it like standing here.
I mean, there's only what? There's five guys,
There's four guards, him, plus the dwarf lady, who's probably not like just going to stand there, plus the townsfolk that rely on these people, and they're not going to be happy if we just kill their only supplier of goods. So, yeah, I mean,
Well, we could just get him alone and just accuse him, and his reaction would probably tell us whether or not it's true.
You are a bard. Why don't you put on a little show?
I don't think he goes that way.
so this is kind of this whole thing is I'm going to kind of drift away from the group and this whole thing and just kind of assert in the town, like how big, like what all is here? What do I like in terms of buildings and stuff? And like how big is this town? What is like, are we talking 10, 12 buildings, 20 buildings? What are we like?
It's about like 1,500 feet by 1,500 feet.
Okay.
There is the most interesting thing here that you have not seen yet, but you can, if you take a minute to look around, is that there is a kind of a stone circle similar to kind of a Stonehenge, but otherwise it's basically just homes. There's a smattering of homes, maybe 20, 25.
There's no real businesses here. It's just this is where people this is a settlement and they're relying on people bringing them goods like this person.
Correct.
And and as I look around the sleds, does it appear they have tents that they're gonna are they staying? Are they as soon as it's over, are they leaving? What are we looking at here in terms of the way they travel?
Give me a perception check or investigation check, actually.
That is investigation. Where's my investigation? That's a 9.
9?
So, 9. Yeah.
Okay. So with a 9, I mean, I'm not going to give you nothing because it's each sled is pulled by a bunch of dogs. I think 6 dogs.
Okay.
Hold on. Yep, 6 dogs. They seem friendly enough. They're not like growling at you or anything. So they don't seem like a threat per se, but I mean, you don't know how they would react if you were to say attack their master.
Right.
But at the moment, they're very calm and sedate. You do notice something unusual on one of the backs of the sleds, though. But with a 9, you can't really tell what it is.
Okay. So, yeah, I feel like we're probably running out of time here in terms of us just debating. So I'm gonna walk over to Doc and be like, "So what do you think?"
I don't know. I think there's too many to kill. I don't think that'd be a good idea. I don't know how we can get them apart from the others.
Where are you guys in relation to the rest of us?
We're just off to the side of this whole little gathering or whatever. I don't know what the rest of you were doing. I kind of took a walk, kind of like around, like just away, and then kind of came back and just walked up to wherever Doc
I
was
was
standing.
standing to the side watching the people is the last thing I was doing, so I'd be there. Would I be in earshot of what Doc just said, or no?
I hope not.
I was going to say, if you're still around the people in the goings on, I would say not, because clearly they're trying to keep that on the down low. And if you could hear it from where you are, then they could hear it from where they are.
Yeah, no, I would not have said that if we were still amongst the group or whatever. So.
I was just making sure. I didn't figure.
I mean, at this point, you have no idea what their situation is after the fact. So you don't know if you need to lure him away, if they're going to split up, if they're going to leave.
Yeah, that's why I was asking if I was in earshot or not. If not, then I'm just still watching the people, trying to figure it out myself. So is it winding down now?
Yeah, at this point, there's a couple people kind of finishing their last transactions, and it looks like they're kind of packing up the rest of the stuff and putting it back on the backs of the sleds.
So the people are putting stuff on sleds, or they're packing up, putting their wares on the sleds?
The people working for Torga are packing up the sleds.
Okay, and
I asked Torga, well, it's getting pretty late and it's kind of cold. Is there any place to sleep here in town? Any like an inn or something?
You asked Torga that?
Yeah, just to kind of see where she's going.
She says, "Don't deal in information."
Right, because that's never useful. Thank you.
She shoots you a pointed glare for your sarcasm.
I'll mockingly do one back because she's an incredibly useful lady, isn't she?
This does not go unnoticed by the men behind her, and they tend to step forward and put their hands on their hilts.
For a look?
For a gnome that's just standing there and ask the question. Yeah.
I must have a better withering stare than I imagined.
I think it's more to do with the fact that patience is not a virtue in this area of the world. That if there is anything that is possibly perceived a threat, the residents of 10 towns in this area will tend to jump to conclusions.
Fair enough. Nothing more threatening than a tiny little gnome asking a question.
They're
Hey,
right next.
looks to me deceiving.
Right.
They're right next to the sleds, right? So they're taking the wheels right off the sleds, or the sleds to the side.
The sleds
then-
are behind them. So it's like the crowd, the barrels, and the cat, and then them, and then the sled dogs, and the sleds are behind that. So there is product, people, sleds. If you're looking at them,
No.
I'd like to go up to the big guy and just tell him, I was standing over there and watching to see if anyone would steal anything and see if you would catch it, And you are, you are just amazing at your job. I didn't see anyone take anything. You must be excellent. Does that not happen? Or did you take care of it and it happened long ago? Like, how does this work? This is fascinating.
he just says, sometimes reputation is the best deterrent.
You said there's a Stonehenge, right? Type of thing. How are they close to it? Are we close to it?
I mean, everything is close in this town. It's like 1,500 feet wide.
So what's your reputation?
Clearly that of someone who does not have any patience for thievery.
So are you hard to steal or a big teddy bear?
I think this conversation is over.
All through that conversation, I was trying to perceive if was he agitated or is he just too cool for school? Calm.
Roll a perception check for me.
I didn't see jack. I rolled a 3. Doesn't matter what my pluses are. Be a total of 7.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he seems pretty stern-footed.
Okay, I just walk away and make the face to the guys.
At this point, the sleds are pretty packed up, and they start dismantling the canopies, and it looks like they're gonna figure out lodging for the evening or what. But they're wrapping up the sales portion of their evening.
So who did I go to when I started walking away? I went to wherever there was a group. Our group was. Who was that? Who was grouped together?
I mean, Doc and Gray were kind of off talking to each other, and Tickles and Dild were still kind of in the area you're in.
Yes.
Okay. Well, then if I turned around, then I would be heading to Doc and Gray.
Yeah.
And I'd just be like, well, that was fascinating conversation. I learned nothing.
Yeah.
That
All right.
is a fucking surprise.
So they're getting this stuff together. Does it look like they're going to find a lodge to stay, or they're going to camp out in the snow?
At this point, you wouldn't be able to tell that. If you want to try to kind of watch them and see where they go, you can try to do that.
Could
But
just ask.
there's no way for you to know where they're going from here at this point. They're still loading goods up on their truck.
I'm gonna approach any of the straggling townsfolk that are leaving and just, hey, is there a place to stay, or any kind of lodging potential in this town? So just whoever I see that's kind of one of the stragglers walking away here.
Sure. This man, you think, with kind of stringy hair falling out from underneath a hooded cloak, kind of looks at you and says, I don't know you. You can't stay with me. And he goes kind of skittering off.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. Interesting.
And we don't want to attack these guys, right?
I mean, at this point, the crowd is dispersed, so it is basically just Torga and her crew.
And more people, still more people than us.
Yeah,
At level 1.
There's a total of 6. So there's Torga, the 4 cloaked men, and Sefik.
Yeah, there's 6 of them. There's 5 of us, and we are at level 1. and the guy that we're after clearly has some sort of
Magic.
not just a guy.
So
Yeah.
our best option, I guess, would just stand back and follow them and get and find out what they do. Because if we're not going to attack them, and we're not going to, we can't. And the people who were in this town don't want to help, so we have to get some intel. So the best thing, I guess, to do would be just to watch them. So so is that what we do? We just follow them and see what's going on with them?
So, yeah, I'm going to tell the two that I'm standing with that I'm going to like drift back and try to get basically a viewpoint, like duck away through some of the houses where I can see kind of obvious that I'm still on the street and like I'm walking away, but try to circle around to get to a place where I can still see them, but not necessarily. And I guess you'll want me to roll a stealth. All right. That is a natural 20.
Oh yeah, you are one with the darkness, my friend.
So yeah,
Well,
and I told them kind of the general direction I was going to head. So we don't have a map, so I'm just kind of circling around to the side, probably the side kind of where.
So are the rest of you kind of moseying away, or are you also trying to?
Well, if he tells us that and then sneaks away, I'm just gonna go up to Doc and ask him. So, what do you think would happen if I just went up there and asked him, "Hey, are you the murderer?" and see what kind of reaction he gets?
Glad I can't hear this.
I don't think that'd be a great idea, but I mean, it could work.
I think that's code for I'd love to see what happens, but I'm not going to take any responsibility whatsoever.
They are all still together, by the way. They are still in a group. So if you want to do that, accuse one of them of being a murderer in front of the rest of them. By all means, I'm not going to say no to you, but
I didn't hear him say he was going to accuse him. Just ask him.
Yeah.
There's a difference between.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, man,
I don't think there's a lot of nuance in that question.
it is your character to make any choice you want with.
So is it just Tickles and myself that are hanging around, and then everybody else is kind of floated
I'll kind
away?
of go over by you guys.
Gray has skulked off and has disappeared into the shadows.
Yeah.
And then the 4 of you, I don't know what you're doing yet.
And there's no locals, so I still can't. I don't know what the hell we're supposed to do in this town. We're gonna freeze to death.
Yeah, I know.
Do you say that out loud, or is that just
No.
thinking?
I mean, that's I'll try to do accents for you. I'll be an incredibly offensive Irishman.
Well, I guess I could ask. So are we going to stay here?
I don't know if there's anywhere to stay here.
Yeah.
There is, I will tell you, there is nowhere with like a sign that refers to any sort of inn. I don't know if you can convince someone to for lodging, but there is no business that offers beds.
I have an idea. I'm going to try something. If it doesn't go well, you'll figure it out.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna.
I
I
want to
step
go up
further away.
Yeah, I go with
to the
Bill.
group, and I go up to the big guy and just ask him. So we have no place here to stay. I was wondering, could we bed down next to you guys outside if we paid you a little gold so we could have some protection? We're not from here.
He says, yes, clearly I can see that. Listen, I know that I am a specimen that is comfortable in such conditions, but I do appreciate the offer, but it's going to be a pass for me. Now,
I'm
I will
flattered.
say the rest of my traveling compatriots, they do not have the wherewithal that I have for these conditions. They will not be sleeping outdoors. No one can sleep outdoors here. Is this your first day?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes. Well, good luck freezing.
I'll try. Not to.
And their group starts to kind of wander away from you guys.
I just go back to Doc.
Are they leaving
Didn't
town
work.
or are they going into town?
They're going into town for as much as you can go into town here. I mean, but they are not headed away.
Okay.
They are staying within the kind of confines of the outer houses. And Gray, you being the sneaky little rabbit person that you are, watch them as they start to walk away, and you see Cephik kind of split off from the group, grabbing a bottle of wine out of one of the sleds, and kind of finds a nice cozy spot for himself and hunkers down and begins drinking the wine.
So, okay, when I see this, like, where does the rest of the group go? If he's went off to the side, where's the rest of the group going?
I don't know where they went, but they are not within eyesight of him.
They are not within eyesight. And how far are we now from where we were before?
I mean, not very. Again, this is a very small town, for lack of a better term. So everything is fairly close to one another. So, I mean, you're not more than 100 feet, 150 feet away.
Okay. So I'm going to stay where I'm at. And can I see the rest of my group from where I'm at? Also, I can see him, but my group from where I'm at.
Not from directly where you are, because you're in between buildings, but you could pretty easily backtrack a bit around a corner and probably see them.
Okay. I'm going to step back so that I'm out of view of him.
Your concern about is him running. He looks to be pretty comfortable where he is.
Okay. So, I'm going to back away and find the group. And before I do that, though, I want to see, like, to where he's at, is there an approach option that would allow us to what's going to be the approach option that I can see from where he's at that would be maybe get us the closest to know we were there necessarily?
Certainly, he's kind of on the outer edge of this town, so coming from outside of the town would be quite obvious, because it's just kind of like a barren ice field. So your best bet would probably be to kind of try to sneak between some of these dwellings and pop out when you can get as close as you can.
Okay. I just wanted, so I'd have if I'm going to relate a plan of, like, how we should try to approach him before he knows that, like, here comes 5 people coming right up to me. Like, what would be the best route to tell them as I'm looking? So, With that, I'm going to back away and see if I can't round up the group and tell them what I saw.
Okay. You do so.
All right. So as I approach the rest of the group, it appears our boy has decided to wander off on his own and taken a bottle of wine with him. This might be our opportunity, as the others are currently out of sight.
Cool. Can we get behind him? I know he's where he's sitting. Can we get behind him?
So I'm going to relate what he just told me, which is the route that's going to get us the closest. Although you didn't say how close it would actually get us, but
Yeah.
if we, so
I mean,
I'm gonna
his back is to outside of town, more
Right.
or less, but he is under like some cover, so
Yeah.
he's not as visible from that direction.
Okay, so yeah, well, we're probably not going to be able to get to his back to like approach. He's going to be able to see us, but we can get as if we go this way, we can get as close as we can before he would see us. So,
May I ask what your intention is? Are you just trying to sneak up and attack him? Or are you trying to put a bag over his head? Like, what's your plan?
I'm telling them where he's at, what he's doing, and how we can get close. What we do from there, that's what. How do we want to play this? Do we want to try to grab him and go? Do we want to try to like?
Gonna have to. I mean, we can't do anything there. I don't think.
Well, let's just
I mean,
ask him if we can get close
from-
enough, and then the rest of
from-
you
from-
can wait, and let's see what happens.
From what Gray saw, he is very much by himself.
Yeah. I'm thinking we can like. I mean, if we just want to go up and try to deal, the question is: do we want the truth or do we just want the money?
Well, I would like the truth.
I'm not one for just killing a man without any good reason. Don't know anything. We don't know if that lady lied to us, do we? We don't know nothing. As far as we know, we're just sort of basing this all on whatever facts that crazy woman by the fireplace told us.
Then
Yeah, I mean, we have to. I get a feeling that there's more to this than just getting this one guy. So we have to just knock him off.
So then how do you want to play it?
Can we get behind him and knock him out?
I have told you that based on his description, we cannot get behind him.
You can try to get behind him. It's just going to be much more difficult than approaching him from the front.
Let's just walk up to him,
Yes.
unassuming.
Why don't I do that, and you four can wait and see what happens?
Haven't you already like annoyed him?
Yes, so he'll expect it.
All right, so well, if you're gonna try that, then you probably should just come down the street, and the rest of us should be go try to get to where I was at watching him, or as close as we can get watching him.
Okay, is that how you're gonna play this?
I don't know. Somebody say something. They're all staring at me.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know of a great way of doing this besides, just going up to him.
Well, then Gish is just going to start walking.
All right. Well, I'm going to circle back the route that I could perceive to be that would let me get the closest before I could be seen.
All right, let me get another stealth check from you. I will make it a bit easier because you've already kind of found this route that allowed you to be hidden before, but
that is a 14.
yeah, you are hidden and you get as close as you can without being seen, which is still probably 25, 30 feet. So not within striking distance, but within running and striking distance probably.
Close enough that I should be able to basically hear how the conversation goes.
Yeah, you're definitely within earshot, and if combat were to happen, you could be on him in a turn, but you couldn't like sneak in an attack.
Yeah, I'm not going to get a free shot in. Yeah, gotcha. All right, so I don't know if anybody was trying to follow me or if everybody was just going with Gish.
I would probably go with Gish because I'm not sneaky at all.
Yeah, I'm probably in the same boat.
Yeah.
I'm not sneaky at all either. I mean,
Right. So the four of you were just going to walk up to this guy. I'm going to be like,
Well,
it's fine.
I'll
I'm just
motion about 50 feet out. I'll motion for the three of them to hold up, and then I'll continue forward to actually speak to him.
I'll get him within a turn before you do that.
Yeah.
Like maybe 30 feet or something.
I mean, he clocks you coming. He's not unaware of you approaching him.
I wave.
Says, "Oh well, if it isn't the new blood."
So I go up to him. I'm not, unassuming. I'm not hiding anything. He can see my hands. And okay, so I wasn't really honest before. You see, here's the deal. We were hired by someone. I forgot who. Anyway, they seemed to think you murdered 3 people and wanted us to find out if that was true. But then I talked to you, and you seem like you're a very nice man. I mean, you don't seem like a murderous type. So what's going on? What do you think?
He looks at you and kind of smirks, clearly amused by your question, and he says, "Murderer? That's such a dirty word. I didn't murder anybody. Didn't murder anybody. I apprehended the lives of those who were rightfully meant for the Frostmaiden."
Ah, well, problem solved then. Thank you very much. And I turn around and just start walking to where the other 3 are.
Okay. He doesn't approach. He doesn't follow you or anything. He's
Okay, well then I get to the other guys and say, try not to be in earshot. Hopefully they were about 50 feet away, and say, so yeah, he's totally a murderer, but he seems really nice about it, and apparently it's like a job. So however you want to do it, I'm here for support.
At this point, I heard the conversation, and I'm kind of like, I have like waiting for them to see what they do.
Okay.
But like, I am prepped and ready to spring into action here at this point.
Now, I will remind everyone that I told you guys going in that I'm setting this character up as utility. So a lot of times he'll be throwing it to you guys to figure out how to do the battle stuff, and I'll be jumping in when needed.
Can I'm translating that as I'm gonna get into some crazy shit, and you guys got to figure out how to get out of it.
Exactly.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
How is that different from any other character you play?
It's
And
not.
I would have to say,
Slightly different.
thank you.
All right. So how do you want to handle this from knowing that information?
What's the weather? How bad is the weather right now?
It's friggin' cold, man. But
Right, but are we talking about like, is it like pouring down snow? Is it sleet?
No, I mean, there's always kind of some snow falling from the sky, but it's not
Okay.
like blizzarding right now.
Okay.
So it's fairly clear, very light winds.
I mean, as far as Icewind Dale goes, it is just about as pleasant as you can get.
So from where I'm at, do I see anyone other than this guy, this Sefik, and my group? Is there anyone else
No,
around?
nope.
Okay.
all right. So Gish comes to us, tell him that he's the guy.
Yeah. I guess that means we got a job to do.
Yeah, let's go do it.
Okay. Dude,
Do
you
we
guys,
all 4 walk up there?
well, no, you all 3 will walk up there, and I'll kind of just, I'm there. But if I see you guys going up to him, I would like to, at that point, do some bardic inspiration, if I may.
In how are you going about that?
Well, I figure that, ooh, okay. Well, here's some inspiration, just in case you get a notion. But don't forget, I don't have any lotion. So here you go. Yeah, he's horrible at rhyming.
So his poetry is the way he functions.
Who
Bad
are
poetry.
you?
Singing. I mean,
Who are
unless
you-
you guys just really want to hear that.
Bad poetry. Okay, got it.
Who are you gifting bardic inspiration to?
Well, I can do up to 4, so I only see
you can,
3. So
okay.
I'll give each one of them, Tickles, Doc, and Dild, all 1 bardic inspiration. Then, if that's all right, that's 1d6. And the way you use bardic inspiration is you have 10 minutes to use it on 1 ability check, attack roll, or a save. You can roll an extra d6.
Very good. Okay. I mean, he sees the 3 of you approaching. I assume not friendly.
No, 3.
Or
I'm still
are you still
standing
trying to
around.
put on airs of being a group of buddies?
I guess that would be a correct statement.
I mean, 3 is Gish like hiding behind a tree trunk?
Sort of.
All right.
Okay. Well, he sees the 3 of you approaching, and regardless of your demeanor, he isn't especially fond of that, and he puts his wine down and stands up slowly, and he says, "You'll catch your death out here." And he takes his hand and he grips it in the air, and a blade of ice appears in his hand. And I would like you to roll initiative.
I'm still going to roll.
Yeah, everyone's
Well,
going to roll.
yeah, you better.
That was caught. I rolled an 18.
All right.
Got a 19.
22.
Tickles?
12.
2.
All right. What's your dexterity modifier, Dild?
Let's see here. I don't know that by heart. It's a 1. It's a 1.
Okay. Well, I think that is where we're going to end it for this evening. We'll keep this initiative order when we pick up next week.
All right.
All right.
Drag that out as long as we can.
All right.
It's been nice playing with you guys.
Just want to let it be known, my idea actually worked.
Do not say that when we're all about to start the fight.
My idea will only work if you're successful in defeating him.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah, just jinxed us. So,
But anyway, thank you all for playing, and thank you all for joining us. If you were here in the chat at all tonight for the first session of this new campaign, I hope you found it fun, and lots more in store for you. And we'll see you very soon right back here. In the meantime, never turn your back on a blizzard. Okay, bye.